story about a musician playing a piano very similar to this one. It was his first day in town, and being new, he didn't know a lot of the people around. So he would wave as he went by and say hi to the townsfolk, but many people didn't know who he was either, so they just kind of look away and would be really shy. But then he found a place with a piano, and he began to sit down and began to play. And from the first chord that he struck, people all around the town were coming to see about this musician. They come from far and they come from near, from wide and from close range, because they heard this piano player's beautiful music. It was such a sight to behold. The whole town, not knowing who this man was, came to hear his music. By about the fourth song he played, people were really starting to pay attention. They'd clap their hands with him. They'd stomp their feet with him. They'd just get into the rhythm with him. It was an amazing sight. He played everything from Beethoven to Chomsky to modern day classics. He even did a little rock and roll. They thought, who is this mysterious musician that comes in our town and does these great things with a piano? Who is this man? So they'd ask him questions. Where are you from? Where did you come from? Where are you going? And he just smiled, and he started to his next song. Before long, the evening had worn on, and the day had turned to dusk, and people were still listening to him. By this time, he'd gone into his soft jazz songs and soft jazz music, and they continued to ask him, who are you? What are you up about? What are you about, man? You've been playing music all day long. He just kind of smiled and he'd go to his next song. Before you know, it was night, and he'd been playing all day long, almost non-stop, just long enough to get a drink of water or maybe to go to the bathroom. And he'd been playing the entire day long. And they continued to ask him, where are you from? Where are you going? What are you doing? And again, he just smiled and started to his next song. Oh, before long, the musician had just been playing all day long, and you can tell he was getting a little tired. And so he started to play his final notes on the piano. He'd run his fingers up and down the keyboard, the keys of the piano, and people would just marvel at how amazing this musician was. And they continued to ask him, where are you from? What are you doing here in our little town? We've never seen you before. We've never heard of you before. What are you doing? Again, the old musician with a little twinkle in his eye would just smile, and he started into that last chorus. After he got done with that last chorus, his hands were red and a little bent over from playing all day. And he shut the piano. He finally looked at him and he said, you want to know where I'm from? You want to know who I am? You want to know why I do this? And they kind of smiled and they said, yeah, we've been asking you all day. Who are you from? Where are you from? Who are you? And why are you doing this thing? Again, the old musician who'd been playing pianos for years just kind of smiled and looked at him. He said this. He said, I'm just an old traveling musician going from town to town, meeting new people. And he kind of smiled again and looked down, and he said, I've been doing this for about 30 years. He said, it takes me all across the country, and I meet new people everywhere I go. He said, I don't know many words. Never had much of a formal education. But then he said, I've met more people through my language of music than any other language that I've known. By this time, there wasn't a dry eye in the house. The musician just kind of smiled and cocked his head, got up, tipped his hat, and walked on. Walked on out of that place, never to be seen again. But the one thing he did is he forever changed that town, simply with the language of music.